Several African countries are now expanding COVID-19 testing after the launch of a network of laboratories to reinforce genome sequencing of SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19. In Africa, 12 specialized regional reference laboratories in the network will provide sequencing, data analysis and other technical support services to the countries where they are located, as well as neighboring countries and their sub-regions. Professor Christian Happy, Professor of Biological Sciences and Genomics at Redeemers University. He joins us via Skype to talk more about this. Thank you for joining us on the program. Tell us about the benefits of the lab network for the African continent.
Well, thank you for having me on the program. I think the major benefit is the fact that Africa can share the resources that they have. You know, not all African countries will have the resources available to do genome sequencing. And the network of labs bring together resources available on the continent so that those that have can support those that do not have and enable Africa to respond collectively to this pandemic. That's one of the major reasons why there's this network. And that's one of the reasons why, they brought together all the 54 African countries and enabled them to share the resources available in those that have in order to support those that do not have. And in the end, I think this might help Africa to respond collectively to this coronavirus pandemic.
Some have asked that for Nigeria, haven't we sequenced our genome already? Why participate in the initiative?
Well, as you know, my laboratory at Redeemers University, that is the African Center of Excellence for Genomic of Infection. This is the sequence of first, SARS-CoV-2, which is a coronavirus in Africa. And this was done from the first index patient in Nigeria. So, but then, the way epidemiology is done today is done through the process of genomics, because genomics can tell you exactly where you have community transmission. You can see, with genomics data, you can see exactly the hotspot, and then you can identify places where transmission is going down. You can identify transmission of, you can see how the virus moves around, not just within a country, but between countries. And this becomes very critical, as a tool in order to understand not only to understand transmission of the virus, but to also see how the virus is evolving and how you can develop countermeasures for these viruses. So this is this is a technology that is being used all over the world and in the developed world in order to actually try to contain this pandemic as much as possible. We have that ability now, in some few countries in Africa, and then that's what the WHO and then the Africa CDC are actually leveraging in order to coordinate, better coordinate, response on the continent.
Finally, how would the discoveries be used?
Well, the discoveries are going to be translated. For instance, recently we developed a rapid diagnostic test for COVID-19. This test is done within 15 minutes. And this test couldn't have been developed without our ability to sequence the virus. We also went on and then we're very far advanced in our vaccine product. I'm sure you heard about that on the BBC News recently. So, and this couldn't have been done without our ability to sequence the virus, because it is when you know the genetic makeup of the virus that you can develop any countermeasure. It's not until you know that genetic makeup, you cannot develop a vaccine, you cannot develop, a drug, you cannot develop diagnostics. So that becomes very critical in order to understand what type of viruses are circulating in Africa, what type of viruses are circulating in Nigeria, and what type of diagnostics or drugs or vaccines are actually, needed in order to, contain the viruses that are circulating. Recently, as you know, we have actually identified 10 different lineages of the viruses circulating in Nigeria. So we know exactly what those viruses look like. And that's the reason why we can actually use such a technology in order to develop the countermeasures. If we didn't have the sequencing technology and the sequencing ability, we wouldn't be able to tell you today that there are 10 different lineages of viruses circulating in this country. So, and then that's really that's definitely the game changer.
All right. We'd like to thank you and wish you all the best in your research. Professor Christian Happy, Professor of Biological Sciences, Genomics at Redeemers University. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.